Hello and welcome to the final episode of Crop Roadshow Season 2. In this episode, we'll talk about free orchid hybrids. We'll start off with Oncidium Twinkle. Oncidium Twinkle is a hybrid between Oncidium clariforum and Oncidium ornithorhynchum. These two species originate in Central America. Oncidium Twinkle is a unique orchid. It's very dwarf, much like both of its parents. It smells like lilac soap. It flowers multiple times a year and has many different flowers. Flowers are tiny, but are spectacular in their cloud-like formation. As someone who's actually grown this orchid, it's quite interesting to grow. You can easily get 2 sets of flowers per year, sometimes even free. You can put outside during the summer, and it can be grown in both east, west, and southern exposure. It's really durable. It lasted until a freak hailstorm destroyed most of my orchid collection, Oncidium Twinkle being one of the casualties. Oncidium Twinkle comes in many different color forms, yellow, white, and red. In terms of hybridization history, it was historically bred in 1958 by the breeder W.W.G. Moore. Although it has not been used in breeding as far as I know, it is one of the most common orchids you will find in common cultivation. Any store that sells orchids will commonly have Oncidium Twinkle, if you're looking at nursery specifically. Due to its ornamental properties, long almost half a century period within common horticultural usage, very good traits and ease of growth, I give it a 12 out of 12 in total. This orchid is an ideal beginner's orchid, as well as a good orchid for the average grower, expert and novice alike. Next, you'll talk about the Cattleya orchid, Cattleya Ophir. Before we can talk about it, we must talk about the plant breeder, John Sendin. Prior to his creation of Cattleya Ophir, he made many different hybrids, such as Cattleya glaucia, which was a hybrid between Cattleya purpurata and Cattleya worcestevi, in 1882. In 1885, he bred Cattleya kenhamiana, a hybrid between Cattleya purpurata and Cattleya mossiae. These two hybrids made their way into the lineage of many different orchids. He also bred Cattleya fabia, the Cattleya laebata Caledoniana hybrid, which made its way into the lineage of many different fall-blooming Cattleya orchids, and Cattleya enid, the Cattleya mossiae and Cattleya worcestevi hybrid, which made its way into almost all Cattleya orchids we know and love. But he also bred Cattleya Ophir by crossbreeding Cattleya darwiniana and Cattleya xanthina. Both species were yellow in coloration, but thanks to Cattleya xanthina having a dominant trait for the yellow pigmentation, and Cattleya darwiniana having a recessive trait for that, all the progeny were yellow, and the yellow seemed to pop a lot more in this hybrid than in either of the species. It was named after Ophir, an ancient trade route shrouded in mystery that Solomon used to traffic gold from one place to another. Cattleya Ophir became the foundation for a great many different hybrids, such as Cattleya Tyrone in 1912, Brassiocattleya the Baroness in 1913, and Cattleya President Wilson in 1918. This hybrid had yellow coloration, a good lip, flowered twice a year, once in April and once in November, and had a really good fragrance, all of which was passed down to its progeny. I speculate that much of the yellow-flowered Cattleya orchids have this hybrid in its ancestry, but I do not know for certain. As it is a hybrid, it can be grown as a houseplant, which brings us to the judge section. As far as ornamental properties go, I give it a 3 out of 3. In terms of breeding history, I'm not sure if the 3 hybrids listed became the foundation stock for the yellow hybrids of modern times, although I speculate it may be. But with the information I have now, I can only give it a 2 out of 3. In terms of trait qualities, it has a great many qualities that are passed on to its progeny, and as such, I give it a 3 out of 3. In terms of ease of growth, I have to give it a 3 out of 3 as well. The last species we'll cover is Phalaenopsis amabilis. In Taiwan, most of the Phalaenopsis orchids in modern times are bred, and they're sent all across the world, especially in Japan, the Netherlands, and the United States. One of the common species used in breeding is Phalaenopsis amabilis, found in the Hangcheng Peninsula in Taiwan. Through various developments in crossbreeding and genetic analyses, it was found that most of the common hybrids of Taiwanese Phalaenopsis of the white-flowered variety originate from 17 ancestral hybrids. And all these hybrids are derived from 6 different species: Phalaenopsis amabilis, Phalaenopsis remesiciana, Phalaenopsis schilleriana, Phalaenopsis aphrodite, Phalaenopsis duritiana, and Phalaenopsis sanderiana. The researchers of this paper also calculate the percentage genetic contribution of each species to the popular commercial hybrids we see today. It was found, on average, between all the cultivars studied, Phalaenopsis amabilis made up between 39.11% and 42.19% of the pedigree of these studied cultivars. This makes sense since most of these hybrids are made through crossbreeding and backcrossing of pre-existing hybrids. As a result, there's a very low genetic pool to draw from. Indeed, one of the hybrids derived from Phalaenopsis amabilis is Phalaenopsis dorus, and Phalaenopsis dorus makes up half of the pedigree of all current modern Phalaenopsis that are white in coloration. Now onto ornamental properties. At this point, I'm just going to show my bias here. I have preferences for other species of Phalaenopsis orchid, but this is a pretty good one, so I give it a 2 out of 3. In terms of breeding history, you gotta give it a 3 out of 3 since it makes up almost half of the pedigree of most of the Taiwanese cultivars. In terms of trait qualities, look, I'm not a big fan of the Phalaenopsis orchids myself. I'm more of a Cymbidium and Cattleya guy. But in terms of Phalaenopsis, I like this one, so I give it a 2 out of 3. And finally, ease of growth. Monopial orchids such as Phalaenopsis and lady slipper orchids are my Achilles heel when it comes to orchids. So every single Phalaenopsis orchid I've ever had has died on me. So I'm going to give it a 1 out of 3. You may have better luck. And that about covers the series. Thank you for watching.